Greetings, 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 y'all. How y'all doing?
Good.
So,
Okay. Greetings, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, fan. How y'all doing out there? How y'all doing? This is Karim from Karim Show and Tell. Welcome to another episode of Karim Show and Tell. This is episode 90, y'all. 90. We call it politics, politics, politics. I know. You know what we talk about? We talk about poetry, politics, ratchetness, relationships, trending topics, and realities of LA. And today's show, we just want to talk about politics. Okay? I'm your host, Karima J. Spear. I'm a poet, writer, director, content creator. I do a lot of stuff, but enough about me. I want to thank my friend, Ryan Gonzalez, for definitely making me a great website, from Psionic Media, making me a great website. So if you get a chance, definitely check out Psionic Media. On today's show, we got Chocolate Chuck. We still waiting for him to come back in. We got Robert Biggs. You know about him. You know about Anthony Gonzalez. You know about him. And we got the lovely ladies. We got Sean Bailey and we got Tiffany Moore. So it's going to get dope up in the house. And the topics we're going to talk about, y'all, it's been on everybody's mind. California governor's recall election, okay? What are your thoughts? That's what we're going to talk about. First topic. Second topic, we're going to talk about Texas abortion law. Is it a fair law? Okay, so I guess we just going to get into it. Waiting for Charles to come back, but we just going to jump right into it. So the California recall election. So let me tell you what it's about. So basically, on September 14th, Governor Gavin Newsom is wait up, we have to vote, y'all. We have to get serious about this. September the 14th, we're going to have to vote to see if we're going to keep him as the governor or we're going to choose another one of the other 45 people that are running to be the governor of California. It's a very special election, and some people say it's a ploy by the Republicans. Some people are just mad at the fact that this man went whining and dining at basically this dining restaurant and got caught. And he was telling everybody else to stay quarantined. And they was like, well, you out dining and wine and dining with people while we got to stay quarantined. So a lot of people are just angry and so forth and so on. So, this call, I think I laid a quick foundation of what's going on. So Anthony, what's your thoughts on this? Is this serious or should we just like not show up?
It's serious to the fact that like there was enough votes. First they were questioning the petition signatures, and they got basically double the amount.
Yeah.
California is a little fed up. I know me personally, I'm a little fed up. Everyone was all talking like it doesn't matter who's going to be in office after Trump, but we need a change. That was the big lay of the land. Mm-hmm. And California, I don't care who's in office, we need a change. Mm-hmm. Actually, I do care, obviously, but Gavin Newsom needs to go. There is just so much mismanagement of the state, mm-hmm. in my opinion, sure. Especially running a small business, mm-hmm. Being told what was essential, being told, what you can do. I have a lot of friends that own restaurant businesses, and then just seeing the way different counties ran their things, such as San Bernardino County, San Diego County, LA County. And the only thing that you could compare LA County to is San Diego County, really, or like San Francisco, and just in terms of population and people. And there were stricter rules here, stricter rules there, then there's lax rules here, lax rules there. I understand that because us living right here in LA County is a lot different than people living in Fresno or something like that. So less population, but it was just a huge mismanagement of the state. I go back to COVID with the ventilators. Yeah. Obviously we didn't know what it was doing at the time, but it was actually killing more people than it was saving because it would overinflate their lungs and they would have lung failure and lung collapse. If you drive by any hospital right here in the Valley, at least, you got 3 hospitals. You got the Facey, you got the Providence, and you got the Holy Cross Providence, and the Providence down there in Panorama. You can see all these ventilators just stacked along the side, mm-hmm. Just for the taking. So just huge mismanagement on the way small businesses are operated, obviously the way state agencies operated. Mm-hmm. And just the lack of oversight. We ran into this issue with 9/11 where there was just a lack of oversight on giving President Bush power to invade Iraq for no damn reason. And basically we gave all of the governors throughout the United States power to basically run their own state like their own country, and the power went to his head. I'm not saying that I know someone who would have done better, but he clearly did not do a good job. The state's still trying to recover, and I do believe we did in that aspect as well.
But I want to also let people know that out there that in order for us to even be at this place of having to vote, they got to have a petition. 1.5 million people signed a petition for him to be recalled. 1.5 million people signed, which is 12% of the vote, right? 12% in order to even be eligible to even put this on the ballot. And also they had 4 extra months because of the pandemic, because they had 1 year to do it, but then because of the pandemic, they had extra 4 months to make sure. But this is something that 12% of the population of California says they want to do. And I'm like,
they actually had over 2 million signatures though too.
Yeah, you need just 1.5.
Yeah, you needed 1.5, but I know they had well over 2 million that were validated because they threw out like 500,000 or something signatures.
Yeah. So how about you, Sean? I mean, what's your thoughts on this election? I mean, do you think it's needed? Let me ask you that question. Do you think this, is needed?
Well, I mean, if that many people did sign to do that, then I mean, it is definitely something that we need to look at and maybe even have a vote on. Me personally, I've already voted by mail-in ballot. So, but I mean, just looking at ex-President Donald Trump and how we couldn't get him impeached for all of the egregious acts that he committed while he was the president of our whole entire country. I don't think necessarily personally that Gavin Newsom has committed anything even anywhere remotely as close as Donald Trump. And I know it's not a competition, but that's just pretty much how I look at it, with the Republicans so eager to get this man out of office. It just seems like it's something else that they want to try to accomplish. I really don't think that they care so much about, the ventilators and, he mismanaged COVID, because a number of them don't even want to wear masks in public. So, I mean, I just think it's just a big waste of money. But again, so many people did vote for it. So it does need to be addressed at least.
Yeah, it's still a huge waste of money, this whole process. It's a lot of trees going down too for all that paper for the mail-in ballots.
Yeah. So how about you, Robert? What's your thoughts on this recall?
I pretty much concur with everybody else. First and foremost, it costs way too much money to even go over. We got so much homelessness going on in California in the first place, but we worried about a governor just because he supposedly went with it. Was it dinner or something during COVID?
At the French Laundry in Napa.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're supposed to be mad at that? Like other people wasn't doing things like that in the first place? But we want to point that out like that's a big deal.
It made them sign a petition even faster because of that.
Well, I'm mad at it because I couldn't get a reservation at the French Laundry, but I went to Napa for my birthday. So I am mad about that.
I understand being mad about it, but to recall and waste all that money for the state when we have so many other needs, I just can't agree with that.
Okay. And how about you, Tiffany? What's your feeling when it comes to this recall thing?
I'm against the recall. I voted no, and I think one of the biggest issues that I have, I'm worried about who's going to come in after him. I'm terribly terrified about it being Larry Elder. I'm a teacher, and so I see what Republicans are doing in education, and I want no part of it. So that's probably my hugest concern, to be honest with you. Of course, I would like someone, there are definitely issues that need to be fixed, but some of the things were there before he came into play. So they've gotten worse, but there's more factors than just him, the reason why things are the way they are. So I don't want to see Elder come in and I've heard the things that he wants to do with education and all the things that he feels. I disagree with it. So, and I feel like he's the one who would probably take his place if he's recalled. So
actually on a radio show, he actually mentioned what he would do. And all disclaimer, I am a libertarian. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican, right? They need to do something for my vote. So honestly speaking, like I used to be a Democrat, then I was independent, then I was Republican. I'm happy with being a libertarian. I think that because a lot of reasons why a reason why a lot of the all the big political people are coming together to support Newsom is because Elder actually said that there's a senator that's in California that wants to retire, right? And once she retires, right, then Elder said, okay, whoever's the governor gets to replace him with a senator. He plans on replacing it with a Republican senator, which will basically it won't be the Senate will be like even Steven, and then it will be even more harder to bring through legislation. So that's like the long-term play of why they want to get a Republican as governor in office.
Right.
The thing is also because I'm a libertarian. Yeah, my boy, one of my boys are a libertarian that's on the ballot too. I haven't figured out if I'm going to vote for Newsom or him, but I just the thing is I'm not mad at the job that he did. I like the fact for me that he came on air every day to let me know, hey, this is the situation. While our president was nowhere to be found. He didn't want to talk about it. He was like ducking the reality of things, and that's just me. I don't have a problem with the job that Newsom did. I'm like because I did vote for him, right? And I was like, okay. You know, the job that you got is a job that most people wouldn't want to have. The fact that you got to lead us, I guess, through this situation of COVID, which you have no control over. So, I mean, I can't mark that. Even if we had a Republican governor, I can't mark that against him because he didn't cause COVID. He ain't a supervillain that created it. So, you know, I mean, that's just my thoughts. We're waiting for Charles to come back in. I don't know what happened to him. He got the party together and then left the party.
So just to go back on it a little bit, I know touched on the restaurant and the homelessness. Newsom's been in office for how long now? 10 years now?
I don't think it's been 10 years.
Isn't it 2 terms?
This is
I don't know. I'm honestly asking, so I really don't know. But
I don't know. Look it up.
He's been the governor of California for over a term. I'm not saying that someone else could have done a better job, but because no one knows. I mean, no one knows who could have done a better job in whatever position in government, from the bottom all the way to the top. The issue with me is that it's more than just. Sorry, my dog likes to interrupt. It's more than just, the COVID situation. We have just a bad mismanagement of the state, of our funds. As a state employees, we're getting pay cuts while being forced to work. Yeah. And, I look at it from the human aspect of it. I'm not looking at it from a Republican or Democratic side. And that's what a lot of people tend to do is like you said, you're worried about the tier, and that's our problem with the country. It's just whether you're a Republican or whether you're a Democrat or, because libertarians, obviously, just the voice is too quiet. There's not enough of y'all. But whether you're a Republican or whether you're a Democrat, because I know a lot of Republicans that wear a mask and I know a lot of Democrats that don't wear a mask. There's a lot of people that got vaccinated and said, why the fuck did I get vaccinated if I still got to wear a mask? And those were Democrats that were pushing for the vaccine. I know a lot of people that it's just your own personal thing, but my opinion is just based off of especially food restaurants. You have a lot of examples of food restaurants having to be closed, from one place to another. And just what was allowed, it's just the oversight. And it all, regardless of whether it was his fault or not, he's at the top. And Trump was impeached. He just wasn't removed from office. Yeah. So it was kind of like, I'm not saying the egregiousness or whatever, but I mean, we recall when we impeached Clinton for what he did, but we recalled Schwarzenegger for sleeping with his maid.
No, we didn't.
Oh, that happened after.
Oh, it was after? Okay.
It's after.
Oh no, what was that? But there was another governor here in California that was recalled.
And then
I was younger, so I was like, I kind of remember. Oh, it was the governor that got recalled, which is why Schwarzenegger took
Gray
office.
Davis.
Gray Davis, and that's when the governor took office.
Position. I was like, wow, I should have put my name on the ballot. I'm like, I mean, just think about it.
Gray Davis had the issue with the rolling blackouts.
Yeah.
That was that.
And I mean, can that be attributed to him, or is that just mismanagement of, whoever's running, the power department,
Well, that was a whole big thing with Texas had control of that, and then they were cutting off the switch. So that was a whole other.
So with that though, is like, I still blame the person at the top.
Okay.
Leadership has to start somewhere, and that's where oversight and accountability comes. And if you can't get to all those lower level people, you got to change what's at the top. And so that's my opinion. Is just like, I mean, I'm not saying that if he stays in office that he's not going to do a bad job. He's going to continue doing a bad job, or he's still going to continue to mismanage the state. He may figure out what he's been doing wrong, but there's still that issue of, the
issue of the homelessness. It seems like,
yeah, that's bad.
I mean, okay, if he gets recalled, I'm like, that's an issue. Okay, I gotta understand, because the thing is, you got to find a solution. Originally, it was a lot of people that were downtown, and now they wanted to develop downtown, so they pushed a lot of the homeless outward into the counties. And I mean, for me, I'm like, okay, and the high taxes, like, people are mad at the fact that I got to pay high taxes, but I still got to look at all this homelessness. And I'm like, it's an expensive place to be that I can't even enjoy. I can't really enjoy myself. So what do y'all think about that? Like, I mean, can it be recalled because of, the homelessness that's rampant all around LA now, or that's just not his fault?
Well, I mean, there's a whole lot of factors. I just left a board meeting. I'm on a homeless task force here, Housing MD.
Okay.
And I'm on their board, and I just left the meeting before I joined here, and we're discussing it. And basically, that's just a group of us who just took it in our own hands. We started a nonprofit, and we collect hygiene kits. We go out, we talk to the people, see what they need, what they want. So it is a huge problem. I live in Culver City, and there's homeless people all around that are living under the freeways. It is a definite problem, but there's so many factors with it also. Some people don't want to be housed. We've had people who we've said, okay, we've got you in housing, you got your voucher. And then they say, oh, I don't want to. I'd rather be homeless and live on the streets. And I'm just like, really? You don't want to live in this brand new place? So it's been mismanaged, of course, because in the last 5 years, it's just a whole lot more people who are living on the streets, unhoused. But I don't know if you can personally attribute it to one person, because it's so many different variables and factors that it's out of control right now.
Yeah, I don't know if we can even turn it around, because I remember when it was sections that you're like, okay, you go down the street, you're going to see homeless people, but this street is cool. But now it's like a checkerboard. It looks like a checkerboard, like, a white spot, black spot, white spot, black spot. And it's like, wow, like I'm like, well, at first I was like, where all these people come from? And I was like, is it because of the job situation and people are, got laid off from their jobs? I don't know, but it seems really
drugs. Some people are on drugs. A lot of people have mental illness. So it's just a lot of factors there.
So
I think we have a huge drug problem, which is why how you were talking about how you got those vouchers for those people. I know LA set up all those like homeless sheltered areas where they, built them out, all those temporary housing and everything like that. I know the one by my uncle's house in North Hollywood is only 40% full. And the reason being is because those people have to have accountability. They have to have drug tests. They have to have different things that, they have to be actively searching for a job. it's just like those people that are continuing to collect that unemployment. I know people that just continue to collect it because they get that extra money and they don't have to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that extra money is about to stop. You know, that can attribute to
about $300 of that money.
Yeah.
About to stop.
Yeah, it's about to stop. But the thing is that people are still getting it. And I understand for certain people, like, you know, education teachers just went back. So I understand with people that, you know, have kids and that need to be there to help set up their kids so that they can learn and go to school and all that. There's certain situations that would dictate. But for like people I know that I call out, like, I'm like, dude, just get a job. Why? I'm going to be making the same amount of money. You know, that's a response. Homelessness.
How about you, Tiffany? Like, I mean, do you think he need to be recalled for what can we do about the homeless problem? I mean, is it his fault or should he, you know, how can we fix that problem?
I don't think that it's his fault per se. I mean, you know, mental illness, I think, is a huge part of it. Systemic racism. There's so many different factors that play into why people are homeless. So I think it starts in schools, obviously, we need certain support so that people don't grow up and end up in jail, on the streets, on drugs and things like that. There's so many systems that need to be changed. I just cannot attribute just to the governor. I think there's a lot of things that need to be done, and people are not willing to do to really take care of all the different systems that go into play. I mean, look at who's mostly homeless. You know, it's a certain population pretty much. We're seeing more of everybody, but it definitely, you know, Skid Row was predominantly Black, and everyone was okay when it was not, you know, near their house.
Right.
So now
a lot of thing with the homeless too is that a buddy of mine, he's a fireman, he talks to some of these guys, and just like you go out and talk to them, you know, and see their stories, their background. And you can't attribute the homelessness to, I can't even attribute it to anyone in the state of California, because I know people that like Oklahoma, Arizona, Texas, Nevada, Colorado, they'll give them, if they go to their city council office, a one-way bus ticket to California. You know what I mean? So they come over here because they know we are the most empathetic to homeless.
Yeah.
And some people's situation are real, but when it comes to drugs, and when it comes to drugs, obviously, I think prescription drugs are probably the worst, but just because that attributes more towards your mental state, in my opinion. Like, obviously cocaine and everything will jack you up for a certain time, and after a while it'll start to affect you. But yeah, just people that usually get on pills, and that's where it affects their mental state right away.
Yeah.
How about you, Robert? How about you? This homeless problem, because the thing is, you're in the real estate. I know that. I don't know how much that is affecting your occupation. I mean, is it really hurting you, or is it like, you know?
It's hurting because those people aren't buying homes.
Yeah.
but in all honesty, in regards to selling property, it's sometimes a hard sell when you have this condo that's Beverly Hills adjacent and it's listed for $1 million, but you see the homeless guy that's right over in the middle island, just set up with a whole fort-like situation. So it's a different situation. If you don't have a client that's like my last client, when I took one, she is working for a company that helps with homelessness and all that stuff. So they're trying to address it. She's knee deep into it. So she understands the philosophy behind it. So she would be okay with purchasing that. But someone else or somebody that's out of state coming in for something like that, oh, I'm not buying $1 million and I'm going to look at a homeless guy across the street. It's just not going to happen.
I mean, none of us will, right? I mean, realistically, like if you make that money to the point where you're like, okay, I'm going to get my $1 million home, none of us want to see that as well. It's an unfortunate situation, but you're trying to get away from certain things, right?
Yeah, that's what
you know what I mean? Like that's what people are trying to do. So it's understandable.
Yeah. You're trying to get away from it, but no matter where you are, no matter what zip code,
It's
you're
there.
going to see somebody that's homeless somewhere. You know, now there's
Yes, sir.
certain pockets that won't tolerate it. Like for instance, I've been out in Santa Clarita, and you're hard pressed to find homeless people, you know, congregated anywhere. I
Really?
saw one guy just walking down the street, and police was right there on him. So
Oh.
in certain situations, like they won't take it out there. You know, I don't know what they're doing, but they making sure that they're pushing people out of at least Santa Clarita.
Okay.
You rarely see
Give
it.
them a bus ticket to Venice.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I remember when I first moved here, Venice wasn't, it was like some characters, but, and the homeless was, it was
Like this.
spotty. It wasn't like in your face, right on Main Street, like Main and Main. You like, I remember going down there and there was some stores and I go, okay, let me go to the store. And then you see maybe like one homeless guy, but he's carting along, going in a direction. These people are like encamped. Like they got,
Yeah.
they got,
Hence,
yeah. But let me tell you some funny shit. This is some funny shit. Like, okay, I got a tent, right? For one of my birthdays, right? It's like a little like beach tent, right? Because the thing is, I hate moving the damn umbrella and stuff like that, right? And so it's so many homeless people now that when I take my little tent, which is only good for two people, it's like for two people. So I bring my writing and everything because sometimes I want to crash, take a nap, and then wake up and write, right? It's so bad with the tents that when I go to the beach, last time I went to the beach, I got the cops every 15 minutes coming by to check on to see if I'm trying to live on the sandy beach. I was like, no, man, I'm a writer. I'm just doing, I want to write my little tent, you know, and just, you know, get the breeze and stuff like that. Right. And I'm just like, it's a damn shame that you can't even buy a little tent, right? Just to enjoy the beach. And they think instantly, uh-oh, homeless encampment growing right here. And so it's funny because I'm like, I bought it for my pleasure, but now it looks like it's a stigmata on having a tent. Like, so you can't even go, you know, it's funny to me. But where is Charles? He's supposed to be here.
he joined and then he dropped back off again.
I told him just use your phone. I mean, hopefully
It's all good.
because I wanted to get his opinion, but we if you don't come on, we gonna have to move on.
Yeah.
So
No, there's a lot of problems here though. Like San Diego, when I first got there, had a huge homeless problem. Like huge. Right when you get to like National City, which is basically their equivalent of like what was our Inglewood or whatever. Like just that's how they look at it. And right when you get off the freeway for like a good mile and a half, and I don't know, I mean, those people probably got bus tickets here to LA, but like I was just down in San Diego 2 weeks ago, and even when I was like leaving San Diego, it started cleaning up, but it's pretty damn clean over there, like as far as like the homelessness.
yeah,
And that is a question, you know, and maybe our major cities, you know, if we're not looking at the top down, you know, Mayor Garcetti was all proud of his mayor coalition force, you know. Why doesn't he get with other mayors of other cities like San Diego, like Fresno, or I mean, I don't know the homeless situation in Fresno, but I'm just saying like San Francisco has a really bad homeless problem. You can't even go to Union Square and take a photo without catching 10 homeless people in that picture. Yeah, it's bad. Like people are legit defecating on the street. And that's where a lot of it comes to, and it's sad, but you know, maybe these mayors should all get together and have another little coalition and say, hey, how'd you guys fix your homeless problem?
yeah.
And I get that. And maybe
Yeah.
they should. It definitely is an environmental issue because there is a lot of disease and things like that that can happen in those encampments. I just was at a meeting last week with the Mayor Garcetti and Mark Ridley Thomas, Holly Mitchell. All of them were at this homeless task force, and they are is definitely on their agendas. Now, as far as him meeting with other mayors, maybe that might work to see what they're doing in their cities. But LA is a different animal. It's a different animal.
Also,
like
we have the best weather.
Coming here,
Right.
but one-way bus ticket. I mean, it's the weather. A lot of it's the weather. If I'm going to be homeless, I'm damn sure going to be homeless in LA than I am going to be in Chicago.
Exactly. That's why a lot of people come here, and I understand that in the aspect of like it's the easiest place to be a homeless person. Hardly any rain. You're not going to get wet. You know, weather's semi decent. You know, it's not too many issues that you can run into. Plus,
weeds legal, all of that.
weeds legal. Yeah. And plus, honestly, like we have so many people like you that, you know, are trying to do something good for and help these people get out of that situation. You know what I mean? We're so here in LA, we're so empathetic to everyone else, which is kind of what makes us and separates us. Even with our empathy, though, you know, there's a certain amount of people that are just take advantage of it, and just like in any aspect of life, obviously.
Yeah, I get that, because I also own homes for people who have developmental disabilities. And so I provide the homes where where people live, and I have the staff and all of that. And like you said, they send them one-way bus tickets. A lot of people who have children who are developmentally disabled, they send them to California because they say that California has the best program, the best resources. We have the regional center system here. We have the Lanterman Act, the Frank D. Lanterman Act. So other states don't have that. So yeah, they do send them here because they get more benefits here. So it is a drain on our system, but at the same time, I mean,
who else is gonna do it? Who else is gonna do it? Like I don't know if you guys know this, but I have my master's in special education. I have my undergrad in history and I have my master's in special education. I graduated in 2017 towards the end of the school year. It was one of those things where I graduated in 17 but didn't walk till 18. But those resources for kids with SPED, you know, they're just so far out there that it brings more people, and that's what's beautiful about this state. And you know, there's so many different programs, but then you got all those people, and that's where I believe management comes into play, because there's so many people that just take advantage of every aspect of the system.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely has to be
managed. Yeah, we need, even when it comes to government oversight as far as state goes, we need micromanaging, because you know as a teacher, Tiffany, like, because basically a lot of my family is in education. My girl's a resource teacher, and it's just there's not the amount of resources and the proper funds being allocated to the education aspect of our institution. California's education, you know, and like you said, you don't want Larry Elders in because of, you know, what he wants to do with education, but right now teachers aren't getting paid enough. Right now their schools aren't getting the proper PPE for the kids. Right now, you know, up until last year, you know, half these kids weren't even able to go to school in certain areas, certain districts, because they didn't have the resources to do a Zoom. They didn't have laptops. You know, they didn't have anything like that. So, you know, where I believe our technology is gone, and how is it that our, you know, superintendent gets paid 6 figures type deal? You know, it's kind of like, you know, pass that money down. That money down.
Charles, we back? We all the way live?
Let's hope so, man.
Okay. So
Charles is here.
How you doing, Will? What's going on? Will, can you? Will?
Is Will on? Will,
He disappeared when Charles came on.
Well, I see Will right now.
Yeah, but I'm not hearing Will. Will, can you talk? Will, can you?
Will, it's English.
Okay, let's keep going. So, Charles, so how about you? What's your thoughts on the California governor's recall election?
It's a power grab, man. And the fact that Larry Elder's the front runner is letting you know this is all bullshit to begin with. And it's real sad that we could be looking at the first black governor of California, but he ain't gonna be the right one. That's where we're at with this cat. Yeah, I don't know the dude that wants to run around with a bear in his damn ass, Cox. I don't think he has a legitimate shot. Faulkner might be the only cat that, if it all goes to hell, I would probably be cool with.
Who? Caitlyn Jenner?
No, Caitlyn has
Oh, my bad, my bad.
she got no shot either. She just, it's all ego. Well, most of it's ego when you run for public office, but Caitlyn's running on bullshit. She's not even coming up with any damn plans. She's just showing up at events and be like, "Oh, hey, I can do this and say this." And I was with the Kardashians.
It's a celebrity thing because that's how Schwarzenegger became governor. Like I thought about it today. I was like, I work for the Department of Motor Vehicles, right? And I see Newsom's picture up there, and I was like, you know what? I should have ran because if I wanted to have to put my face in every DMV and all of the departments, I was like, I should have just did it just because of that. That's why Caitlyn's running. He want his face in every facility. That's the reason he's running. That's my theory. You don't know nothing about the issues. You don't know nothing about homelessness.
Nothing.
Nothing. Did you know that?
The only cat I'd be cool with if it happened would be Faulkner, cat from San Diego.
Yeah, Kevin Faulkner.
Well, there's two. So Cox was a mayor of San Diego too.
Yeah.
Cox was a mayor of San Diego back in 2000.
Yeah, Cox is the one that run around with the damn bear. So.
Yeah, but I'm just saying there's two mayors of San Diego, and Faulkner is a mayor right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Cox was a mayor when I was there, and then Faulkner took over.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
So how about the other Democrats? Got Patrick Kilpatrick, and then you got Kevin Paffra. I guess I said that name wrong.
Bruh, not gonna make it. Not gonna happen.
How about my boy from the Libertarians? How about Jeff Hewitt? No love.
What's his background?
He has a perfect name, Jeff Hewitt. Who?
Hewitt is the perfect name for governor. No love.
Angelina get elected before his ass.
How about the Green Party? You got Heather Collins and Dan Kalvovitz. Nope, no love.
Bro, there's like 50 names on that damn thing.
It's 46. Yeah. I counted. It's 46. It's 46 people. How about you, Tiffany? Did that make it hard that it's 46 people running to be the governor? Was that hard choice, or was it like, I'm just going to pick the guy on the top? What?
No, it wasn't hard because I know I was doing no on the recall, but so wasn't really a challenge for me.
Okay.
I have a kind of a side question maybe that everyone can answer. Mm-hmm. Does California need to be split up into 2 states?
No.
No? Mm-hmm. Sorry, I didn't catch it because you kind of okay. I'm just kind of curious. I don't think so either, but I've heard that argument a lot. And
that was like that mess when the Valley wanted to split up and be their own thing. No.
Wow.
Yeah. No. It's like my own wonderful city the city of San Fernando is absolutely ridiculous. We can't even afford our own fire department. We have to lease LAFD's fire department because the city of San Fernando can't afford it.
Wow. I mean, I don't know enough about it to say yay or nay. Mm-hmm. I know it was on the ballot a few years ago. Yeah. It got defeated, but I don't know, man. I got to look at some more specs on that to see how that would work for each state. I would say if that's the case. So I don't know.
Well, we would need to keep it even, so Puerto Rico would be the next state.
Well, no, I'm talking about they split up the 2.
I know. So if they split up the 2, though, that makes it 51. So you got to have 52 to make it even.
I don't know about that.
Hey, but I need y'all support on the next recall, right? Whoever get recalled, I'm gonna write my name in, okay? So I'm trying to be y'all mayor. I mean, mayor and governor, whatever. But definitely I'm gonna put my name on it, okay?
You'll get 1 vote.
Wow.
And that's your own writing.
I mean, hey, Caitlyn Jenner gonna run. I feel like, and Kanye West gonna run for president. I feel it's my right to run for governor. What y'all think?
Well, don't do anything Kanye does.
Yeah, you don't want to be in that bracket.
So
we definitely talking about.
Robert, you sleep? Are you awake? What's going
on? I'm awake.
So how about you, Robin? Was it complicated with all those people or no?
No, it wasn't complicated because I wasn't voting for any of them anyway, so it didn't make a difference to me. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's just people that are just opportunists, you know, trying to make a name for themselves and not really necessarily caring about California. So
Yeah.
I couldn't take anybody seriously. And when I saw Caitlyn Jenner do an interview and not know anything,
Mhm.
you know, just out there
It was atrocious.
and, you know, looking all crazy. So
It might as well have been Richard Pryor talking about
Right.
the club. It just might as well.
Yeah.
So let's I'm waiting on Will, but let's go into the next topic. Is that cool, Charles? We good with the next topic? Or you got some more to add?
Yeah, I missed 90% of this one, so yeah.
Okay, so
That's all right. We
Oh,
had
no,
a
I'm
good
cool. I'm with it,
conversation.
you know.
okay, so let's get into it. This is topic 2. Welcome to another episode of Karima Show and Tell, y'all. This is episode 90, okay, called Politics, Politics, Politics. And we're going to topic 2. Texas abortion. Is it a fair law? They call it the the Heartbeat Act. So I'm sorry, the Texas Heartbeat Act, yes. So let me give you the backdrop of it. The Texas Heartbeat Law is an act of the Texas legislation that was signed into law by Governor Greg Abbott on May 19, 2021. The law came into effect on September the 1st, 2021, 8 days ago. It is the first 6-week abortion ban in the United States and the first of its kind to rely on enforcement by private individuals through civil lawsuits rather than the state through criminal or civil enforcement. The act establishes a system in which members of the public can sue anyone who performs or facilitates an illegal abortion for a minimum of $10,000 of statutory damages. So just that in itself is like, wow, I didn't know that a private individual could sue a person who helped a woman get an abortion. That kind of
Right.
like, wow. So Charles, because we didn't get a lot of you in the first part, we got to get some more of you right now. So what's your thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, the thing is, I just found out the DOJ is about to sue Texas over that law.
It
I just found that out
went through
today.
No, the
Yeah.
lawsuit went today.
Yep.
The lawsuit went
Yeah.
today. It just went today.
So hopefully, you know, because they're going against the law of the land, Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
You know, anything, like I said, man, anything to kind of limit women's, you know, right to their body is bullshit to begin with. I don't know if it's going to stand up constitutionally, but I know a lot of other red states are jumping on it, trying to get their shit started like that. And you got 6 weeks, somebody's going to try to say 4 weeks, and then someone's going to go to 2 weeks. So then you just, you know, most women don't know they're pregnant until after like 2 or 3, 4 weeks anyway. So, you know, by that time, they got a week to make a decision and a week to have it happen. So it's bullshit, man. I don't get it. I mean, I get it. I understand, you know, but again, like I said, it's not pro-choice versus pro-life. It's pro-choice versus anti-choice. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
And they need to stop playing this damn game that, oh, you know, we're here for you know, for the children, and then once they're born, oh, well, you guys can't get on social security. I mean, you know, all these social services that they offer for people who can't afford to have these babies. Now all of a sudden, oh, now you're trying to leech off the system. Oh, well, damn if you do, damn if you don't. So it's bullshit.
So how about you, Sean? I mean, I'm guessing this is a serious topic for you because the thing is, it's like some of the ladies, some of the women are from the homeless communities, you know, and the thing is, they have their babies out there, and I mean, I really want to know your thoughts.
Well, first of all, Greg Abbott is an idiot. I lived in Texas for like 3 years, a couple of years ago, and he's an idiot, terrible, terrible governor. So this type of action does not surprise me in the least. I don't appreciate any men, and definitely not some white man telling me what I'm supposed to do with my body. I mean, I just, right there, I don't like that. And I think it's definitely unconstitutional. And just more of this whole rhetoric that we're hearing lately with the Republican Party. They're just trying to change the voting laws. They're trying to do these types of moves. They're just all over the place, and they're absolutely ridiculous, and they look really, really, they just look a mess.
And also, this act actually affects the low income men and women, because they don't have access now, because Planned Parenthood is now refusing to help or even talk about
Right.
at all,
Because now they can be liable.
Yes, and that's right on September the 1st, right? It was a whole bunch of people rushing to hurry up and get their abortion before midnight, right? And they were rushing to and then all of a sudden it just stopped. People didn't have access to, their basic needs, and I find that very unfair.
Yeah, it is unfair, but I mean, I also do still think too that there needs to be a lot of education to prevent these types of things from happening, from having to get an abortion in the first place.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to start there. I'm not saying that a woman can't do that if she wants to. I'm not saying that, but it is really a difficult thing for women to go through. So maybe if we can do a little bit more education beforehand, that may help.
And how about you, Tiffany, to add to that? What's your thoughts on this Texas?
I agree with that. I think there's not enough. There's so much talk about the fruits of things and not the roots of things, and there's just not enough work around preventing all of the things we've been talking about tonight, actually, but including definitely pregnancy, unwanted pregnancy.
Yeah.
And the way that we're handling it, it's really all on the woman. And I don't think that it should be. I really think that, birth control, let's get men having birth control, but I definitely don't think men should be making the decision for women about what needs to be done or what they want to do with their body. It's a very difficult decision to make. Mm-hmm. And to have somebody else making that for you is it's so detrimental and it's hurtful, and it's going to cause more issues down the line.
I agree with you.
What if we did have mandate men to get vasectomies? Mm-hmm. How about that? How many men would sign up for that?
Those are two different arguments.
That's two different arguments.
Of course it is two different arguments.
But it's just like tying your tubes.
It is.
I mean, like
right.
No, that's not mandate.
But you all wouldn't do it. And it wouldn't even be a conversation.
And if
it
someone
would never even be a conversation.
If there was a mandate to tie your tubes, you wouldn't do it either, right?
No, we wouldn't do it. But it's trying to be done. Is my
but
point.
You're having two different arguments. You're having arguments against having sex and making a baby, and the other argument is what can I do with my body? And that's where we need to stick to. We don't need to say, oh well, men need to get this. Well, then you argue what's going on right now.
Of course we need to, but my point is that wouldn't even be on the table as even a possibility. But
right,
but our bodies are always.
I agree. I agree. That's the argument.
I'm not saying that we should do that. I'm saying that wouldn't even be put on the table for discussion.
Or
we know that
mandatory birth control for men, like because there are. I mean, if there were such thing as a pill that will allow man to not be able to impregnate. I mean, you mean something like that, right? Because I know some men would take it, honestly.
Maybe.
Some men are hound dogs. Maybe they would take it.
But again, that's different.
If it had a cherry flavor, I would take it.
That's a man still having a choice if he wants to take that or not. That's not the government coming in and saying, "Hey, all men got to take this."
But I'm saying that there's some like certain I forgot the name of the thing, but you can put it in your arm and it controls. It's like a birth control item that you can use.
Well, women have a lot of different options.
Women, we have that.
Control. Yeah,
it's in our arm.
Yeah, it's an arm. They have IUDs. They have pills.
Let's get Will in this real quick because I want to make
sure. After.
Hey, Will, you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So, what do you think about the Texas abortion law? I mean, because it impacts our womankind, and I'm just concerned about that. How if it's going to spread throughout the country. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, we gotta, I just feel like we need to identify crazy people when we hear it. You
Okay.
know, Governor, what's his name, Abbott,
Abbott, yeah.
you know, his comments like they're gonna lock up all the rapists. It's just crazy. And
Yeah.
for us to be,
That's
you know,
what
what
saying
we
he's gonna
gotta do, we
eliminate
gotta
rape.
find a civilized way to come together and organize, you know, just organize something sensible. Because really it's ignorance. And it's hard for me to entertain that because it's so ignorant. You know, you want to sit up there and you want to control somebody, and I don't understand that. And that's just my take on it. I just think it's just straight up ignorant. And
Let me give you some of the reactions. So the pro-life organizations called Texas Right to Life established a whistleblowing report system. So now you got people all over Texas. It's like, hey, you know, Sally got a little daughter. She got a little bump. You're gonna have to watch that. I'm like, literally, that has gone on. Rideshare services, Lyft and Uber has now like announced that they will cover 100% because the law, right, is not just the doctor for doing the procedures. They even got the law even goes against if the child or the young lady were to get in a cab and get driven to the place, that Uber and Lyft is still liable for that situation. Even that, it's like, it's crazy. So Robert, let's get you back in here. So, I mean, have you noticed that? I mean, what's your thoughts on this?
I think it's absolutely ridiculous
Yes.
to try to control a woman and what she's going to do.
Mhm.
I think that, you know, 6 weeks is not necessarily enough time. And, you know, that obviously is targeting specific classes of people. So now you're making these people having to travel across state lines to get the same type of services, or you end up, you know, having to have a child. Not to mention the fact that they don't even have a clause in there for anything like incest or rape. So we're going to also force a woman to have an unwanted baby that was forced upon them in one of those matters. And it's completely unfair. I'm surprised that they actually passed it and then have the Supreme Court just let it go.
Yeah.
You know? But, you know, that was all set up in the first place. Donald Trump appointing everybody to the Supreme Court. And now this is what we're going to end up having for years to come, the rest of our lives, most likely.
Easily. Yeah.
It's very, I mean, extremely disturbing because I even like the fact that literally if because I didn't know the law extended that far. When they told me that taxi drivers can get sued, their company can get sued if you drop her off. Like, you ain't got nothing to do with it. You're just doing a job.
How do you know what she's doing?
Right.
But you're literally, see if I can find that part. But yeah, they talking about even Tinder is putting together a relief fund for assistance to Texas women seeking abortions. It's like almost a civil war down there.
Yeah.
You know, and
Texas has always been ass backwards though, man. Always.
Yep.
So I mean,
always.
So how, I mean, okay. So what is your thoughts on what can we do to just educate the people around us? And I mean, I'm sorry. Before I say that, Anthony, I didn't add you. I'm sorry. I missed.
Oh no, you're good. There's a lot of people. If for anyone who, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, for any person to tell a woman what to do with her body is absolutely ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would, you know, Tupac said it best, we got to cherish our women. You know, if you listen to that song, Brenda's Got a Baby, I mean, that's literally about a rape baby and the situation that it put her in and put her family in. And you know, that keeps people at that class. Of course, I'm 100% against this, but I did a little bit of research as a devil's advocate because everyone's, especially, you know, here, everyone's here is, if you think, you know, you could tell anyone what to do with their body, you're absolutely ridiculous. You know, I wouldn't want anyone telling me what to do with my body. So why am I going to tell someone to do something with theirs? You know, that's the way I look at life. But, you know, I talked to a buddy of mine and, you know, he's for it. And I just asked him, like, why? He said, because it saves a life. And, you know, then there's question about when does life actually start?
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't think that this law would have passed if COVID didn't happen, because that is a term that's been used, you know, just over the last year, a little overused in the last year. Because he was saying, well, we did all of it. And this is, like I said, I'm not saying his argument is correct. I'm not saying that it even makes sense, because it still doesn't make sense to me. But his thing was like, well, we did so much to save a life, to include trying to mandate a vaccine. They're trying to mandate this vaccine that everyone has to take it regardless of whatever. So you're putting something into your body, a foreign vaccine, regardless of however you believe. This is his argument, not mine, please. So don't attack me. He said, you putting something in your body to save someone else's life. You're putting something into your body to possibly help save your life, help save someone else's life, so that you're not spreading this virus. And that term he used for this. And I'm just thinking, like, okay, obviously 1 and 2 are not the same.
Yeah, that's a flawed argument.
It's a flawed argument. You still have a choice for a vaccine, even though depending on where you are, you may not have a choice at some point.
And the vaccine is to save yourself, not everybody else. That's not the vaccine.
You know what I mean, though? Like it's all based off of whatever science people are reading. It may help you, but it's definitely going to help you.
But it helps him. It helps the person get the vaccine first, though. That's what I'm saying.
First, yeah. But it's like that's the mindset that, and granted, I only talked to one person, but it's like that's the mindset that people are thinking. And the bad part about it is that I believe a lot of it has to do with religion. And we're not separating religion from state, you know, and I do believe that it's always need to be given. So yeah.
I'm listening. So
no, I was saying, so that has to do with a lot of probably this rhetoric of, you know, save a life.
I got a question.
But hold on, can I say something about that?
Yeah, well,
You know, the thing about when they use that save a life, but do they ever think about how they're ending a life? See, death is not really just a physical not breathing. Death is when you stop somebody when they're hopeless and they're not progressive anymore. Now, if a woman get raped, violently raped, that stopped her life. So you gonna tell her to have that baby and you're gonna say, we're gonna save this life. In the meantime, you can't
destroying the other. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
no, I get what you're saying, and I completely 100%. No, I 100% agree with you, and it's just more the fact that, you know, that was because obviously all of us are going to be on the same page, and I already knew that coming into this show. Right. We're all going to be on the same page that that law passing is absolutely ridiculous, but I just try to look up a little bit of like devil's advocate type deal, and
that's great. That's great because there's people out there that thinks like that, and we got to know how they're thinking. So if we don't know how they're thinking, they're going to always defeat us. You see what I'm saying? So if we get to a point where all of us on Zoom and we agree, what are we going to accomplish? So, you know, sometimes we need that little pushback. And I just wish, you know, your friend that said, you know, save a life, I wish he would come on, because that's the type of conversation we need to be progressing and try to find out solutions.
Question. Have you noticed that in this argument, because it's called the Texas Heartbeat Act, basically is based on the cardiovascular activity in the embryo. But you notice that the classification of an embryo is now they call it a fetus, which is a different spin. They spin doctoring the hell out of the idea because it's an embryo, right? And people don't go, oh, what's an embryo? Okay, it's just some cells. Versus a fetus, you thinking a heartbeat is a person developing. And so that's why they called it the Texas Heartbeat Act, saying that if you hear a heartbeat, that child has to be saved. And that's why they're doing that abortion for 6 weeks, because by the time 6 weeks comes, then you start hearing a heartbeat, which forcing you to not abort and have to have that child. And so Sean, how do you feel about that? The fact that they reclassified embryos into fetuses.
I mean, again, that's just their way to get their agenda passed. It's just their way. They're just confusing the masses. We'll tell people anything and they'll do what we want them to do. That's basically what that is. And the Republican Party is great for that. Democratic probably too. But yeah.
But it's fear mongering. It's like literally you're like, oh, we got to save a baby. It's a fetus. Everybody know what a fetus is. Embryo is like, that's some cells that, that's developing. It's not a person yet. So how about you, Tiffany? What's your thoughts on that?
I agree with Sean that it's just a matter of trying to make their agenda fit. That's what they're doing whatever it takes, saying whatever they have to say. And the people who don't look into it for themselves and research are just going along with it, agreeing with it. And here we are.
And you, Charles, what's your thoughts?
I mean, it's the same game they've been running since they decided this whole thing since Roe v. Wade came to fruition. It's just, again, like Robert said, it's going to widely affect Black and brown people more, and that's their goal. It is to make sure we don't reproduce, so they can keep and it's too late for them anyway to kind of catch up. Latinx is blowing up to where they're the majority. Yeah. But it always stems back to that. Let's keep Black people from doing this stuff so we can do it, and it's going to promote more white people to have babies, and it's going to keep Black people from even having pregnancies to even begin with, and brown people.
Yeah.
Latinx is a stupid term, by the way. As a quote unquote Latinx,
is it?
I hate that term. It's because it's such a new term, and it just includes basically every Latin American country. Yes. So that's why they use that, because Mexicans don't like being called Salvies, and that was kind of the big thing. But I just think it's ridiculous. Not to get off topic, but it's kind of
you, man.
If someone says like I'm Latinx, it's like, okay, cool. I didn't really care if you're a Mexican, Salvi, Guatemalan anyway. Like you're brown to me, just like me. Hey.
So let's go back to Rob real quick. So the thing is, it seems like we're waiting for the next shoe to drop. Every situation, every week is like something else crazier is going to drop. But say, how can we educate ourselves more, or how should we band together to stop the craziness? So, what's your thoughts, Rob?
Well, my issue is, why is it that we'll continuously sit up here and have people lie to us about multiple things all the time? Mm-hmm. They continuously tell us, oh, the sky is black. We look up, we see it's a different color. And it's like, there's other people buying into the same thing. And it's not like we're not calling them out on all of these lies. We just let it go. Something needs to be in place where we can penalize people for continuously lying to us and let it be okay. They'll lie to us, but we still elect them in to office. And I'm talking about silly things that is not true, but they want to continuously stand on there. I mean, even for presidential debate, you sit up there, you hear lies and lies and lies. Then you have people fact check right quick and be like, yeah, this is not true, this is not true, this is not true. But we just listen to all of these lies, but it's still okay. And we still vote for these people. I'd rather not be able to vote for these people anymore that's continuously lied about, certain situations, and just get them out of there, because honesty needs to come back into politics.
I think we need to have a longer memory.
Yes.
People do things and then we forget, or we Nah, that was him back in the day. Like honestly, like Kanye West, I still won't listen to him now just because of what he said back in the day about black people. So I refuse. I have a long memory when it comes to music. Like you can't do
What
us
you said
dirty.
about Harriet Tubman?
That's how we need to be about politics.
Avery being a choice.
Did you care when he said that George Bush don't like black people?
No, he
Oh,
said
I
he said
remember
Harriet
I remember
Tubman.
that.
Harriet Tubman took the slaves and sold them to other slave people.
Yeah.
Yeah. That fool has
I was
no
just like,
concept
what?
of history.
And that's how the kind of memory we need to have with our politicians. We need to be like, oh, they dropped that dumb album. Oh no, we can't listen to that no more. So how about you, Will? What's your thought? How can we get ourselves together?
Well, my thing is, how do we separate the lies? Because we're being lied to in every direction, north, south, east, west. We don't know what is true. Because they can tell you something like this happened. Then somebody else dig up something else. They'll say, no, that ain't the way it happened.
Okay.
And now you stuck in the middle. So the whole system is just rigged. I guess I'm just a rebel. I've always said, you know, we're really gonna go crazy trying to fix this rigged system.
Yeah.
And you say keep electing, money gets these people elected. We're 400 years behind. We don't have that old money. All these people who getting elected and has the power to move things and doing favors, it's old money. And just like you see somebody else like us, somebody new come in. Oh, we're like, yeah, we put them in, but yeah, there's another system. And it's what really woke me up is like this past thing that happened in Georgia, that runoff thing they had.
Yeah.
And when I got to listening and studying about the background of that, I was like, this is so crazy. You know, and just like what's happening now, you know, they don't like Gavin Newsom. Oh, let's just recall him.
Right.
You know.
I think it's going to become like a snowball effect. So it's going to be like every mayor, every governor after that, just the slightest thing, it's going to be like, oh, recall, and it's going to be like, it's going to be in the Guinness Book World's Record of like this. California always recalls for the slightest behavior. And I'm not saying that Governor Newsom did some slight stuff, but I'm just like, that's who I voted for. Okay, let him do his stupidness, right? And then we're getting somebody new in to do it. But I'm like, I just don't want to put the wrong person in, because you know, there's even a college student that's running for governor. I don't even know. I only know his name. He's not even on the list. But like literally, think about all of a sudden a college student becoming your boss or the person in charge of everything that don't know nothing. You know, that's.
But just think about it realistically. What can one man do, or what woman can do? And we're so crazy to believe this year in and year out. And the system is just rigged. Ain't no one man, no one woman going to change what's going on in the hood. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, now you look at the economy. They
Well, you still there?
all $15 an hour, $15 an hour. Bernie Sanders and everybody like, yeah, let's go 15. But the economy, if you date back the economy since 1965 to now, you know what the minimum wage is supposed to be, really?
How much?
$24 an hour. That's supposed to be minimum wage if you kept up with the economy since 1965. And somebody offer us $15 an hour and we all happy. And we just, and it's just like, it's lies that make you happy and there's lies that make you mad. So what we do, we just digest the lies that makes us happy. And we go on, and then later on down the road, we wonder why we haven't progressed, because we ain't really getting what we're supposed to be getting. Now, in this society here, who can live off of, I don't know what the minimum wage is right now, but I know it ain't 15. But
you got me on that one.
I believe it is 15.
It just started.
It just changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just changed. So Charles, not Charles, freaking Will, my bad.
I know we all look alike, but
Hey, so do we. No. But,
Good comeback.
hey, I ain't mad at it. No, but I saw that study, and I don't. The only counter I saw to it was they weren't expecting 40 million people to be in the state of California, regardless. And just to play devil's advocate, people that, and they use this, the fast food industry and everything like that. People that make $15 an hour, you're not supposed to stay there for all those years. In my opinion, some people's situation obviously dictates, but it's not everybody.
right.
It's not everybody's situation. There's a barista that should not be making $24 an hour while she's going to school. You know what I mean? She's working to get out of that situation. The only reason why I'm kind of okay with that aspect is, like, I saw that study, we should be getting, I think it was between like $24 and $26 an hour, or a study similar. I don't know which one you saw. And I always look at counter arguments, and it's based off of the growth of the people in the state as well. And they weren't expecting 40 million, which I believe we're at like 38, 39 million in California right now.
It's the price hikes and everything too. So it's
Yeah, the
not
price
just
hikes,
that.
yeah.
It's
It's
the
not
price
just that.
hikes.
And
And
the
when you
price
talk
hikes
about
with-
when you talk about the price hikes right now, and then you tell somebody to make $15 an hour, you're crazy. And for anybody who want to agree with that, are just idiots, because now you okay with people being in poverty. So I'm not okay with people being in poverty. And when
I'm
I
not
hear
okay with
somebody
it
who,
either, but
what I'm
gonna
saying
argue
is,
with
like,
you here.
if anybody, the voice I want to hear is said, excuse my language, fuck that $15 an hour. That's the voice I want to hear. If you ain't saying that voice, fuck that $15 an hour, then fuck you. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying? I'm not saying fuck you now. I'm just saying,
I know.
you know what I'm saying? I'm just that
I'm
base.
just
That's
looking at-
my thought process.
Okay.
Yeah, you
No,
was. Yeah, you
That's okay.
was.
You could tell me fuck you. I ain't gonna get mad at you.
No, I wasn't
Be
saying
cool.
that. Now you know me. I've been on here
No,
before.
no. And but the beauty of talking like this is the fact that, at least with me, is that even if you tell me fuck you, I know you don't mean it personally. You just mean it to whatever I'm saying at the moment. Me and you, we're cool. But
No, it wasn't what you were saying at the moment. It's just the idea that's out there. I'm not I speak
Got
to like
We
what's
good.
out there. It's
We
not
good.
it's not
No, but
just
my
you.
thing is that
What I'm saying, if Chuck would have said it,
No.
Rob would have said it, anybody, I would have came with the same thing. It wasn't just you.
Hey, Rob.
It
Rob.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yes.
No, my thing is that when my
Well,
little brother,
he
when my
said we
little
could
brother
cuss on
got
the
his
show.
job, when my little brother got his job, working minimum wage, he didn't want to be in that position no more. And I said, all right, well, it's either go and grab yourself an education. Hopefully you don't get too much into debt that you're just paying back that education and still being in the same situation, or go to a job that will allow you to progress.
Yeah.
And that can be certifications and things like that allow you to grow.
Mhm.
I don't think education is for everybody. I believe in trade schools. I believe, there's different opportunities for people to take. And like I said, there are situations where men and women get stuck in and they can't leave that cashier job.
Yeah.
They can't, they can't. And I get that,
But that's
those are
okay.
and that's
It's
okay too. But
Yeah.
it's not
It's
for
just like
everybody.
it's not
for
we
everybody,
look
though.
down on people who do that.
No.
And no, I'm not saying when I say we, you notice I said we.
No, yeah.
When I'm talking
no.
about as a society.
As
We
a
look
society
down on
is-
people who do that, but and as we found out during the pandemic, those people are important. Because
Only ones
remember, to
working.
open up the economy, you had to have the bus drivers.
Yeah.
You had to have the store clerks so you could get your groceries at store. Then all of a sudden, these people came so important. But all at the same time, throughout society, we never looked at them as quite human. Like people don't really look at us as human.
Yeah,
This
but
is
you know what I'm
garbage.
saying?
This is a garbage man theory.
the thing is, we live in a capitalistic society that matter of fact, we celebrate the rich. We excuse the rich. We, copy the rich, right? We want the car like the rich and the house like the rich. It's like, I mean, the thing is, there is a hierarchy, and the thing is, as you acquire a higher standard, it's like you get the thought in your head, not that you're better, but you just want a better life than the guy next door, the guy across the street. I mean, every one of us it has that about us. Like, we're American, and the thing is, it's good to be. We're kind of prideful with that. Like, hey, I just made this, or I just got this, and when the reality is, I mean, and the reason why I say that is because no one really wanted basically a socialist to be president. Because if we really cared about our community and stuff like that, we would have put a socialist, Burns, in office as president. We are a capitalistic society, and we definitely want to achieve higher than somebody else, some stranger that we don't know. We don't want to live you start in the hood, you don't want to stay in the hood. Will, you still there with me? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
I mean,
here.
I agree.
I was listening, but what I'm saying is like, okay, the reason why the hood is the hood because we do not allocate funds to that.
Okay.
So if you don't allocate funds, nobody wants to stay there. But what about the people there?
Okay.
We might be better than environment with a lot of trash on the side, but we're not better than that person who lives in that house who has that trash outside their house. And that's the problem that we have as human beings. We look at somebody who live in a house who just probably their yard is not cut, and we think we're better than them.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that's the mentality that I hate.
Okay.
And I use that word hate because it's really hate, because you got these type of people, the same people who's trying to say, oh, women, you know what? You shouldn't have this baby. You shouldn't have this baby. And like I said, like my man was saying earlier, one guy was saying, save a life, which I've heard that before. That's the reason why, Anthony, I responded to that. I've heard that before, save a life. And like
it
I
just
said,
doesn't make any sense.
Let's go to Sean. So, Sean, what's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on what exactly, because Will said a lot of things. He was talking about the community, and don't even get me started with the Black community, because that's a whole different topic, and I have my own different ideas about that whole thing. I think, for one, the problem in the Black community is that we've got to get the relationship and the dynamic between the Black man and the Black woman. We got to get that together first, because that it does have an effect on the neighborhoods that we live in, because the money comes from the taxes that are being paid in the community. If we're not homeowners, which a lot of the reasons why we're not homeowners is because of all of the things that have been done historically, the systematic racism and things like that. So it is difficult for our communities to have the kind of money that's flowing in and out of our communities that's needed for education, for our children to have better schools, for the neighborhoods to be, improved, for the police activity to be there, but not to be there to over police us. Yeah. And I know this is kind of getting off topic, but that's pretty much my feelings on that whole thing that Will was saying.
Not really. This is actually on topic. This is insane.
I'm gonna go with it being on topic only because like that is what I feel is part of the mismanagement of the state, the allocation of funds. We pay the most in our vehicle registrations than any other state. To include 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they just passed a law where you add another. It's called a TIF, transportation improvement, whatever fee, a TIF, and we have the worst states the worst streets as far as like roads, traveling than any other state, and we pay more than anybody, and we have probably. I don't know off the top of my head, but we probably have the highest. Well, I'm sure we have the highest, but the highest amount of people in our population for the state. So all that money, that not just for that, but just so much money gets sent federally for education, and Tiffany, I'm sure you know that all that money is not properly allocated. And so where is that money going? That's my question. And without that oversight, and you got to pin it to the man at the top. You know what I mean? You have to do it, because that's what I mean personally. Our commander in chief, just from being in the military, when a junior Marine fucks up, you know, the CO gets fired. And, granted it didn't happen in that, but you got to blame someone. And
it's not
it starts at the top.
just one man, it's the system. So what
That's
I'm
my
saying,
point. So who's oversight?
That's
who's
why
oversight?
I don't,
But the
too much
systems
look
have
at
been
that.
put in place like years and years
Right.
ago.
And
Right.
and we
Newsom
have
didn't
and
put
we
the
have
system
new,
in place.
No, I agree.
Right.
I agree. I'm not saying that he's the one who's the reason why all this started, but we've had people since those systems have been in place. Granted, whether have those people done something or not,
So
that's another story. But we are, as I said, Newsom's been in office for I think 2 terms now. I don't know how long. I'm just off the top of my head, just not doing that. But there
That's his
is.
first term.
It's his first term? Okay. So
2.5 years in.
the thing is though, is that when we have going back to what we were saying earlier, I think, senators and congressmen should have term limits because we need fresh blood. It's not about who's there. We just need fresh blood with new ideas because all of us have new ideas. You know what I mean? And the people there still have those old ideas. And that's where that system that has been in place for so long will get changed. And the oversight and everything like that with Newsom, and it doesn't matter. You can't blame the one man. No, you can't. But he is the head honcho in charge right now. And that if he's not providing that oversight, if he's not pushing that change, if he's not pushing for any of that, then someone needs to. And we need to find someone who will. I'm not saying it's going to be a Republican. I'm not saying it's going to be another Democrat.
So how are we going to make a state like Texas and Florida
I'm
pay
worried
their
about
fair
California.
share?
Then.
See,
I'm worried
it's
about
nothing we can do
California.
in California about that.
So there's nothing we can do in California about our own systematic system that how we don't allocate funds properly. There's nothing we can do in California about that. Because
Bruh,
we get federal money. No, we get federal money that's not allocated properly to these communities that you're saying, the communities aren't getting the proper funds. You're saying that. Why not? Because it's coming from our state. It's not coming from Texas.
yeah, because
It's not coming from.
first of all, the taxes that we pay, we share it like nationwide.
yeah,
What I'm saying. See,
Federal and state taxes.
California, New York, we pay the most taxes. And that's why you got states like Texas, Florida, they really getting away with highway robbery.
You mean Rhode Island? And
Yeah. They getting away with highway robbery. You see what I'm saying? That's a federal issue. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we're suffering here because something that need to be fixed, nationally.
Which
And
also
that
goes back to what Anthony brought up. Should we divide California separately into 2 different states? Maybe it might help out.
And like I said, I'm not one way or the other for any of this, but it is my thing, and Karima knows is that I question everything, whether it's right, whether it's wrong, whether I agree with it or whether I don't. And most of the stuff that I tend to question the most is the stuff I agree with, because that's where people are going to attack me.
So,
you know what I mean? So that's why it's like, you always, and that's what I think we all need. We all need to question everything to include, just where is our money going? I know, yes, we do help out federally, but we do have a lot here in-house too. Regardless of how much we help out federally, we have a lot in-house. We are the most wealthiest state.
so
We're California is
we
its
also
own
on fire
economy.
every year.
Like the
too.
9th economy in the world.
In the world. So
Yeah, but we're also
fact
on
that-
fire every year, and we have to also get federal funds for these fires and stuff.
yeah, we have to do that because we have mismanagement. Aside from the national parks, we have our own, a lot of these fires starting highways, a lot of these fires, arson, but we
What
don't.
they say, 200 million acres? That's a lot.
so
No, yeah.
let me get Tiffany back in here, y'all. So how about I want to exclude. I want to make sure she want to come back, y'all. So Tiffany, do you think the state has been mismanaged as far as like the monies and stuff like that, or?
Based on everything I'm hearing right now, yes, it has been. Definitely, it's been mismanaged. I even with that said, I still don't want the recall. I'd rather let's wait until we can vote and get somebody that we really want in. But obviously, there's a lot of mismanagement, and in the school system, there's a lot of money being poured into the school system, but it's just going into creating task force and committees that just talk and go around in circles over and over again, and we don't get anything done. There's like all these barriers and red tape and politics that don't happen in the schools in the wealthier areas.
Yeah.
And the parents actually put their own money in and they end up getting everything that we don't get, so there's definitely a mismanagement in funds, definitely in education. For sure. I don't really always feel like we need more money as we do. We have to educate our parents and our students at the same time. That's just a community that I work in personally. So I feel like we're never going to get ahead if we keep on thinking we just need more
money,
books or more materials. That's not what it is, really. It's the roots. Everyone's trying to deal with the fruits, but we don't deal with the roots of the problem. So it just keeps on coming up.
Also, I want to let y'all know, the tip that Anthony was talking about is on your registration. Every year you pay it. You don't even realize you pay it. It's between $15 and $300. That was it $350 now?
It's 20. So it's based off of the value of your car.
Yeah.
It can be called a tip or a VLF fee, but it's based off of the value of your car. So if your car's under $5,000, it's going to be an additional $25. If it's under $10,000, it's an additional $50, and then so on. It goes up till it maxes out at $300.
In your receipt, it actually says it real quick. You just like, you only pay attention to it. But yeah, every year you're paying it. And the newer car, the flyer car you got, the more taxes you're paying. But also, by the way, it's tax deductible VLFs.
VLFs are tax deductible, yes. But it's just like, it just, my point of that is just like, I just drove my buddy to New Orleans last month. And you're driving through these other states and the roads and the sides of the roads, it's beautiful. And then you get back in California, and we were driving a nice car, a little nice 2017 Toyota Camry. It was a comfortable ride. Just all on the roads through California. And then you get to another state and it's like smooth sailing. So it's kind of like that. And I don't know where that money's coming from or whatever, but I just know that, like, I know I pay something on my registration. It's kind of like that whole taxation without representation. I'm paying this damn tax. I want my roads to be nice and smooth.
So you want your roads to be, but I know I'm more like, I guess I'm hypocritical when it comes to that. I want my roads to be nice and smooth, but every time I'm driving home and I see a road, detour and they fixing the roads, I'm mad. So I'm more like, I'm hypocritical because I want both.
It's just like if you're going to Anaheim, that freeway construction that went down in Anaheim was since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And it finished when I was in the Marine Corps 20 years later.
And by the time they finish it, the state has doubled in numbers. So that freeway is no good anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So let me add, we're coming to an end of a show because bro got to edit. So we come to the end of the show. We would definitely want to have everybody, we're going to go from, I guess, panel to panel. We're going to say who we are and how we can connect and how you can reach out and connect with us. So let's start with Robert. Let's start with Robert this time. So Robert, how can people connect with you and what's your final thoughts? And then how can people connect? Let's start with that.
Final thoughts on
it could be like Texas abortion law, the California governor's recall, or just what's happening with right now and COVID and all that in California.
It's all ridiculous. Abortion law, get rid of it. This recall, waste of time. COVID, touchy situation. People want to get vaccinated. People don't want to get vaccinated. You know what? Do what you want to do, but just be ready to suffer the consequences if you happen to be the one that, ends up coming down with, because we can't just continue to help people with the 300. I'm glad that's over with because, it just wasn't helping the economy and us to move forward. We need to move forward as fast as possible.
Okay.
But the way to get in contact with me is Robert Biggs III on Facebook, RNBIII on Instagram, RBIGGSIII on Twitter. I'm the local real estate agent and developer. I do tax-free retirement, and I also do insurance.
Okay. So we're gonna go with let's go with Tiffany. Actually, yeah, let's go with Tiffany. How can people connect with you, Tiffany?
People can connect with me on Instagram at Melt Mind and Body Fitness. That's the #1 place.
And your final words?
My final words is I think this is good that we're having these conversations. I think more people need to have tough conversations around these subjects. And I agree with what Sean said about Black men and Black women really need to come together and have some serious conversations about how to move forward with everything with each other. And yeah, I definitely would like to see this whole abortion thing, go away.
Okay. How about you, Will? So what's your final thoughts and how can people connect with you?
Okay. Final thoughts. Okay, what kind of thoughts?
Today.
Hey, no, I think we all agree. Well, I don't know. I wasn't here earlier, but my final thoughts about the abortions, I just feel like any human being should have the right to control him or herself. And I know everybody, we break it down into a gender thing, which they make it a gender thing, which it is. But, you also have, people trying to control our lives in other ways. And all this is connected. But going back to the abortion thing, I'm not with it. I just think everybody should have a choice to do what they want to do. As far as the what you said, it was something else. A final thought.
Final thought. I mean, if you want to talk about COVID and this new wave we got, you want to add to that, or you want to talk about the California recall election? Okay. So how can people?
I'm good. I'm good. You can just it's like you can get at me. I just got my email address, will@willcampbell.net.
How about the new show? How about the new show that you're putting together?
We putting it together now. Me and Chuck, I was talking. I'm getting everything, in place. You see, I got the banner already up. See the follow-up, and see the follow-up is a show. It's about topics like what we discuss, but we're gonna have like videos and everything else, like news segments, and we're gonna talk about like news segments and videos and stuff, and have interviews and stuff like that. So that's coming soon. It's called See the Follow-Up.
Okay, and now let's go to Sean. Final words, final thoughts. How can people connect with you?
Well, you can connect with me. I have a podcast too that I do.
Okay.
A couple of other friends. It's called Let's Drink to Wealth. You can find us on Instagram.
You drink wine?
And you can also, pardon me?
No, I said, do you drink wine?
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah, I want to go.
We do. We have our wine too.
I'll bring some wine.
Okay. So you can find me there. You can also find me on Instagram at 3HotMama. And
At who? Where? What?
3HotMama on Instagram. That's my private Instagram.
Wait, hold on. What was it again?
Is that like that?
3HotMama.
3HotMama. It's the
I
name
knew
of a
that was going to
production.
get a reaction.
It was a production company my girlfriend and I were doing. That's all.
Okay, Hot Mama.
Anyway, so you can get in touch with me there on Instagram. Let's Drink to Wealth on Instagram. And my final thoughts are, please go and vote. If you live in California, go vote. It's on September 14th, go vote. And whichever way you believe, just let your voice be heard. So that's it for me.
And Anthony?
If you think you can tell someone what you can do with your body, Doesn't matter if you're man or female, but especially a woman. If you think you can tell a woman what to do, man, you're psycho already.
There you go.
Yeah. So,
I go for it.
you know, for the recall, yes, go vote. Definitely. But also too, just on a side note, not with COVID or anything, but this issue going on with Afghanistan. Me as an Afghan vet, I did 2 tours overseas there. I did 3 tours total, but I did 2 to Afghanistan. Reach out to a vet if you know him. I humbly say that I've always been one of the guys that my guys come to when they're struggling and they need help. And this thing broke my mindset on all of that. So I reached out right away to as many guys that I could, because I'm like, Jesus, these guys come to me thinking I'm mentally all there. It's like I can only imagine what they're going through. So if you know that, just reach out. How you doing? How you holding up? It really does mean a lot. I know a lot of guys they hate that thank you for the service, and you know, people get weird about it, and you know, we don't do it for that. But this is a situation, especially if they served or if they have a buddy that served, that it's a really messed up situation. And a lot of guys are feeling all types of way. So reach out to them and just give them a shout, make sure they're doing okay, because I can honestly say that we are not okay.
How about the nonprofit?
Nonprofits, Wings in the Sky. That I just got our EIN number, just got approved, went through the tax ID code. So the website's being built. Basically, what we're doing is going out and helping. We did it. I mean, I did it a couple of times during COVID. A couple of buddies of mine were hurting mentally, either whether it was drug addiction or suicide. I was going out of pocket and basically just getting a team of guys and going out there to them, spending a day with them, trying to get them into some sort of activity and get them the help that and they need by facilitating resources that they have available to them. So that's going to be coming. If you guys can want to help out with that, once everything's set up, you know, I'll send everything out. But we need to look out for our veterans, and I do feel like it's the modern day Vietnam. So we a lot of us feel that way, and you know, I'm gonna just say a little more real quick. I talked to actually one of my pilots. I was at a funeral last Friday for one of my mentors that committed suicide, and I talked to one of my pilots who came to the funeral, and I'm trying to ask him. He's now a commanding officer of a helicopter squadron. And I asked him, I said, what are you telling these junior Marines? What are you telling these Marines? Because the last 5 years, we haven't been engaged in war. We've been there, but there really isn't that much battle going on. There was a lot of battles going on when me and him were there. We were part of Marja. We were part of all these huge offenses. We actually captured one of the guys that was pictured in the Kabul palace, in the presidential palace. He was one of the guys that was released during the Obama administration for that Army soldier Berg Hall. And, you know, we lost an aircraft on that mission and a mentor and friends. And so I asked them, what are you telling these guys? And it's like, you know, we kept the homeland safe for the amount of time that we were there. Which is true, but it's still tough. It's a tough pill to swallow. And aside from the Vietnam crew, I don't really feel like people understand, and I know people are empathetic and they have sympathy, but it's tough. So please, if you know a vet, reach out to them, please. So yeah, and if you want to reach me, ask Karima. Aside from that, we can have some fun. I'm gonna go drink some wine. I'm gonna go argue with Will and Chocolate Chuck. We gonna do something.
How about you, Charles? How can people? What's your final thought, and how can people connect with you?
Well, my final thought, man, is I'm not sure this abortion law is going to hold up because of Roe v. Wade, but I am concerned that if it does, the other red states are going to try and kick in and eliminate that. So that's part of the Constitution. We'll see. I mean, not the Constitution. I'm sorry, the law of that the land right now. The recall is bullshit. And whoever plans you put it in after this, especially Larry Elder, we saw what happened last time we let somebody who didn't have any damn political experience. I want this cat running the state. And you can reach me at LA Ballad of Sexes at Facebook and Urban Wine Collective at Facebook. You can hit me up at Charles May on Facebook, but I might not respond to you. And I really won't be doing a lot of shit till I get my Wi-Fi fixed.
And I had one more thing I wanted to say.
Go ahead.
One last final way to connect is if you want to volunteer and help with the homeless issue here in LA, go check out housingmv.org. We're always looking for volunteers.
How much do they pay?
Volunteer.
Fool. Hey, at least it's volunteer, not voluntold.
So I'm your host. Before I do that, the exit like I always do. Hey, like this show, I've been doing 90 episodes, right? I've been paying for it out of my pocket, folks out there. Like, I'm not asking for help for the show, but I am asking for help with the website that we got running with all the nooks and crannies and all the good stuff. If you want to donate, please go to that website. If you like what we're doing, if you definitely donate and tell people, subscribe. Any help will be greatly, greatly appreciated. Because honestly, like I'm trying to expand the show and definitely give you better and greater content. Because the thing is, I wanted to get a little deep, and we usually talk about like fun stuff, but I was like, too much real deep stuff is going on for us not to talk about it. But anyway, I'm your host. So go to the site. It's Karima Show and Tell. That's KarimaShowandTell.com. So definitely check us out. I'm your host, Karima J. Spear. I like to be called K2 sometimes when I'm doing my poetry. Also, my other website is KarimaSpear.com. That's KarimaSphere.com. Thank you, all my guests, for coming on to episode 90. Hey, episode 90, y'all. This is like 5 years or so of doing this. And this episode 90 called Politics, Politics, Politics. I want to thank all my guests for making this another awesome show. Thank you for the thoughts. Thank you for the sharing of the opinion, because the thing is, the people out there want this. They want to know what the regular folk that got to deal with the same issues are thinking, because it helps start conversations. So I think we're doing a good job here. Anyway, the next episode is episode 91, September the 23rd, 2021. I call it Battle of the Sexes, Chapter 2. So Charles, really, what we gonna get into it? Battle of the Sexes, Chapter 2. And I just think that, we had such a fun time on the last show. I want to do Chapter 2. There's many chapters. Chapter 2 ain't the end, okay? So I want to let y'all know. Anyway, Karima's show is a great show. So go tell somebody. And check out the website again, KarimaShowandTell.com, and donate. Thank you. Until next time, Karima Show is a great show. So go tell somebody. Until next time, peace.
Peace.
Here we go.
Hi, guys.
Bye. Bye.
Peace.
Good show, guys.
Yeah.